evening. I hope you guys had a great one. It has been a minute. To those that have not, had a conversation with me during the day. By the way, guys, you're more than welcome to watch what's happening with the Apostle Chiwenga, the video that I just dropped this afternoon. But anyway, here we are, guys. GEZA revolution alive and kicking. I must just let you know that all the fights that you see in ZANU-PF are being, ignited by what's going on with the revolution. But it's exciting to watch. By the way, this is one of the most interesting article I've never read, actually, addressing what's going on currently in the ZANU-PF quarters. Interesting days ahead. Come on, guys. Chinamasa, suicide or not. By the way, this is just some of the jargon that are exciting. It's not really someone who has to do the worst, okay? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. You're welcome, guys. I know some of you, it's your first time to come across this channel. Please do yourself a favor, subscribe and make sure that you ring the bell so that every time I'm live or I just drop a video, you'll be robbed right here. To my regulars, I can see you in numbers. Guys, don't forget to thumbs up the video. That's the culture here. We need to push algorithm, inviting everyone to the conversation. Hello, everybody. Are you guys doing great? Because I am doing really well. Okay, some people are asking me, am I, oh yeah, but honestly, I can't be able to actually delete some of your comments. First and foremost, I'm not a ZANU-PF support, I'm not a ZANU-PF person, but I'm a Zimbabwean person. Okay, so if you want to address me as a Zimbabwean person, not a ZANU-PF. No, I'm bigger than the political party. I'm not that limited. So please not, Zimbabwe comes first, more than anything else. Okay. All right, guys, I say this and I'm going to repeat. If Emerson Mnangagwa can deliver 1% of what Ian Douglas Smith did during his time, I will be the one pushing for Mnangagwa to stay beyond 2050. Okay, because 2030, that's too late. Beyond 2050. This is to show you that the guy has been nothing but a waste of time for everybody. He has failed to deliver. That's one of the reasons why we are where we are today with all these shenanigans that's going down on social media and also within the political party space. Okay, guys, like I said to you earlier on, one of the goals that the GEZA revolution had or still has is to neutralize all the fights among politicians, because there's a lot going on. I can tell you, it's those that are claiming to be opposition. It's also the ones that are claiming to be supporting Mnangagwa. So there's always been these partisan fights, in this country for decades. And it's time for us to just put a stop to it and have a new start. So please note, that's where we're here, okay? I want to read what Ali said. Ali said, Dr. Naledi Pendo told Zimbabweans that you have a political problem. Your job seekers masquerading as legislators who don't care about reforms, but parliamentary pacts. Okay? Parliamentary pacts blindly led you into another shambolic election. That's not a Naledi Pendo problem. Remember what Naledi Pendo said, the former minister of Trade and I think International Affairs in South Africa, yeah. She said there's a political problem in the country. You can never fix Zimbabwe without fixing its politics. And I do not know why we can't see the most important thing that we need to be doing right now is to put a stop to the noise, the fights, and say, can we just be Zimbabweans for once? Can we not address each other, by the political party you belong to, right? Please, and just call me because I'm a Zimbabwean and my name is Rumbi. Don't say I'm for who. I've told you earlier on, I don't belong to anybody in the political space. I do not remember any day that I signed up and said, guys, I'm part of your leadership. None whatsoever. I've never signed. I don't have no card for anybody. I'm Rumbi, a Zimbabwean, who's just following up and see what's going on. But what I stand for, and I've been very clear, is the GEZA revolution. Is what I stand for right now, and I push until we cross. Okay. Do you know that Garwe, okay, I don't know what to say with the leadership of Mnangagwa, but guys, many people in the country today are literally surviving from selling old clothes. We know Pezanamo, in I think different cities, people are now selling old clothes. But I can hear that the minister has banned us from importing old clothes. Maybe it's got something new for us or something new for those that need to sell. Because this regime, specializes in blocking or banning things without no solution at all. Okay, they love burning, but there's no solution on the table. It is very sad. Okay, the Dudula thing is going wild in South Africa as well. I just want to say that things have changed. I actually heard that they've changed even their stamp at the border post. Now you can't mess up with it. It's a digitalized stamp. Okay, and you guys know that it's most of our people have always been, been sending their passports one way or the other to be stamped because they need to work for their families. Where are we today in this mess that we are? And you can't hear nothing from Emerson Mnangagwa. It's just gallivanting. In fact, they're just blocking people from doing the work that can lead them to feed their families. What else are we going to do? Guys, I want you to listen to what the human rights said because people are asking questions. What does Mnangagwa say about Dudula? What plan does he have in place to cater for people? Because the problem is not the healthcare. That South Africa says you guys are literally frustrating us when we get to hospitals. We've seen you in queues. Zimbabwe, it's going to be Zimbabwe. There's so many people in South Africa, different countries. But for some reason, it's Zimbabwe. And I must tell you why. Because our ancestors are crying and said, come back home. It's not South Africa. It's actually the time that is saying, go back home and fix your country. And that's exactly what we are doing now. So when you are sitting, we're not just sitting for fun or creating content. We are fighting to make sure Emerson Mnangagwa Aviswa, because he is not a people person. He is not a leader. So at least we can have a new start. But let's take a listen to what his representative, I'm talking about the human rights, I think that is commission chairperson from Zimbabwe. What she said after they're asking you, what's the plan that you have as far as the Zimbabwean people's lives are concerned? Let you listen to her. It's actually very sad. These guys are nothing but a waste of time. A waste of time. Take a listen, please.
Also on the South African side, I think there's also need for, in my very respectful view, increased understanding of sometimes the needs of people and the needs of nations at different times. I want to go as far as to say that possibly also during the struggle for South Africa's independence, a lot of African countries, including Zimbabwe, hosted South Africans who were there, not of their own making, and so. That humanity, that Ubuntu, that we Africans have, I think should continue to pervade and lead such discussions and such actions, because at the end of the day, we really are one people. There might be issues here, issues there, but it does not detract from our human and, let me say, African dignity. And we must, of course, find these solutions and these conflicts.
How many people have heard this statement, Yekuti? We assisted South Africa during the liberation struggle. So South Africa here, it's like they're expecting South Africa to also look after Zimbabweans. But I look at it from a scapegoating point of view. This regime of Emerson Mnangagwa has never taken responsibility of anything. They always find a way to escape from truth. You know, we've got a problem of a man who is in the position who don't even know what he's doing. Mnangagwa is clueless. I've said it and I repeat again. Guys, for those that have not subscribed to Lumumba, if you can hear Lumumba's files that is dropping there. Guys, we spoke about the gold mafia. We talk about minerals, lithium mafias. We talk about diamond mafia. What today, there's also a tobacco mafia. Guys, Zimbabwe is filthy rich. We have everything that we need. And we can actually feed so many countries. But it's only that we have Mnangagwa who is clueless, who works with criminals that are destroying the country. So keeping on coming back to South Africa and try to gaslighting, and to me, it's not a solution. When are we going to take full responsibility and say, we're going to have to build our own hospitals. We'll make sure we capacitate our hospitals and look after our people. To me, it's like, guys, please, if you have nothing to say, don't say anything at all, because this is becoming very frustrating and really it angers a lot of people. You can't keep on just accusing South Africa as if they're owing you something. Okay, I know you can tell me about all the diplomatic thing. Maybe because I simplify life. I'm a firm believer that as a parent, look after your children. You cannot keep on blaming your neighbors. These guys are not complaining, guys. Even Malawi, they also have their own issues. But you have never seen them fighting with South Africa. Zambia, no, Botswana, we can't. We are better than this. We are capable. We should all discuss the way forward as far as Mnangagwa's exit is concerned. So you waste people time. Oh, look after us. And no, guys, no, it is enough. I just cannot stand it anymore, Ezrombi. I can't. We need a solution that works. This has been going on for decades. South Africa knows that Zimbabwe is filthy rich. They know all the criminal syndicate that you're playing with. We know the coup d'etat grenading that we spoke about last week. And their criminalities, they've seen 1.1 billion being transferred and 800 million goes to your personal accounts. Taking money from the state and eat for your personal, whatever, I don't know what you do, luxurious lifestyles. So they are watching, and you come back, you're acting like we are poor. We are not a poor country. We are not a poor people. You are just dumb. You don't know what to do with this country. Can we just give those that know how to lead the country? I can borrow the words of Chris Muchangwa, who said, right now, if you can allow the right people to lead the country will move. So we cannot keep on talking about, South Africa. Yeah, look. No. I'm tired of this. I don't want to hear. And I don't know. Some people, are you trying to please Emerson Mnangagwa? Let him know that Zimbabweans are holding him accountable. You can't keep on accusing other countries. What is Mnangagwa doing to resolve the issues of Zimbabweans? Not to say, no, please. These guys have got their own issues. Okay, they have their own issues. So we can resolve our own issues, isn't it? Honestly. And I read what Mnangagwa was said. Why is our government silent on Operation Dudula, where our citizens are being denied access to healthcare in South Africa? Surprisingly, no one is vocal on addressing this ruckus. We no longer have dignity as a people. Who is to blame, and how do we address this? This needs attention pronto. I also need to say, Zimbabweans, we have spoken, we've said a lot. I genuinely believe that it's time for us to take action. Okay, it's one thing for us to complain, it's another thing for us to actually do something. GEZA came out here. Okay, give us the weapon. But because we are a society that is so partisan in all this nonsensical politics, let me just say this. Politicians, I don't know, for some reason, how do you guys think that you can reduce your own needs to one person who wants political office, or who is actually in the office right now, Emerson Mnangagwa? So people must now be stuck. All Zimbabweans must just suffer because Emerson Mnangagwa wants a position to be called a president, where he doesn't know what to do with the position. Or maybe there's another person who maybe Chinamasa or whoever wants the position. So all of us, our lives must just shrink because we need to please one man. I don't understand that level of thinking. We should never undermine our country, or we never think, guys, how do we reduce an entire state to one person? An entire country, all the purposes, all these ambitions and talents to one person who is clueless, who don't even know what they're doing, or even whoever you may expect. That's why I've always been saying, it doesn't matter you have John in position. Let's have a country that works, a country that has principles, because these leaders are doing as they please because they know what I can do. No, who says what? Who can touch me? I can do whatever I want. So all the looting, the stealing of money or minerals, because no one is doing anything. Again, goes back to the military to take action, and the police to stop the games of protecting criminals. We need this country to work. Hope Watching Honor, he said, I think holding South Africa accountable based on the help we gave them during their struggle is pointless and unproductive. South Africans were prosecuting a struggle. Why we are stealing public money meant for hospitals and then attempting to blackmail South Africans on account of what was a global struggle against apartheid. I'm against xenophobia, but I also understand the economic pain of Limpopo having to carry our medical load, not because we are at war, but because we are stealing our own money. Get this. If a neighbor steals money meant for his family's upkeep and blows it in the bar, that irresponsible neighbor has no moral right to remind the neighbor looking after his kids that 40 years ago his family housed the neighbor's family. It is the height of irresponsibility. You cannot demand gratitude for yesterday's political solidarity against apartheid while robbing your people blind today. It's sad, but it's a fact. Kuti, we cannot keep on, I don't know what to say. Kuti, we have been saying this, I don't know for how long, and I'm tired. I just want a solution. I want Mnangagwa to go, and I want to see people sitting around the table and come up with a solution that works for everybody. Guys, we have lost enough. We have lost our dignity. Honestly, guys, families, you have ruined enough. Mnangagwa Ngaende, there's no need for us to even discuss nothing. There's nothing to talk about. He's not a leadership material. He has never taken the responsibility of anything. He's always hiding behind other people. All his dirty work has done, he uses his stooges while he's hiding, acting like he's a good person. I'm tired of him. He's the worst of everyone's time, and it's time for him to go. He has failed our people. We have a problem with dogs. Dogs are biting kids, and kids are dying. No solution. And the people that are committing all these crimes are being protected by who? Politicians. What kind of a country is this, honestly? What kind of a country? This leads me to the Muliswa family. Guys, you know Themba Muliswa, the one that is, another one with a verbal diarrhea, because Themba Muliswa is like that. Themba Muliswa's got a sister called Mary Muliswa. She also has been very much active in the ZANU-PF, leadership. Mary Muliswa, she's doing the worst. When I say the worst, I mean the worst. Again, going back to the administration of Emmerson Mnangagwa, that is corrupted to the core. This administration is not only corrupt in Harare or in cities, it's corruptive in the rural area. Okay, if you listen to what I'm going to read there, it will shock you. But before I actually read, let you listen to what some of the people that she works with in those rural areas say. That is in Hurungwe. It's shameful. It is shameful. Guys, it's too much. It's too much. The nonsense of Mnangagwa, it is too much. Let Mnangagwa go. Take a listen, please.
Chairman, we can't do. We do this. We have to know what the supervisor honorable chief. It's also good to room by the bush upon the Babam. My never told them, I told her, American chairs, dinner, my tent, that's a Chairman, Kanana CEO, but I told my lawyer, but the lawyer put out of the chica. I thought when you tell me, if you can't my town is because the Maria told me, I told you, I going to an office, he said, I'm lawyer is now speaker. You have a walk in the room, I got to shot. Is this a king? You're putting that you will let it to without my other saying. It's not chef, it's not boss.
Am I the only one who don't like the word chef? Sorry guys, forgive me. I'm just very sensitive. I don't like boot looking, so honestly, the chef word, I believe in Mr., Mrs., Sir, Madam. The chef thing, I think these words we need to just scrap them and focus on. But going back to this story, so Themba, Mary Muliswa, the sister to Themba, okay, the father of 20 kids. I just want to make sure that you guys, you right, because he's got his own stories as well. There's a guy called Paul who's fighting with Themba Muliswa for stealing from him. Okay, that story I know eventually you hear when they're now dealing with it in the court. For now, Mnangagwa is protecting him. But Mary Muliswa, okay, she contracted people to fix something in Hurungwe as the councillor. Remember, she's a councillor in Hurungwe, okay? So she conducted people. She was signing checks, money off the state money. But the people that she contracted, there was fraud happening there. She's the one that committed the fraud. Because remember, she's a councillor who's contracting people to do the work in that area in Hurungwe for the government. But the very same people now were arrested for fraud. When they were arrested for fraud, they were taken to jail. Now they've been given a sentencing of 56 years in prison for fraud. Okay, I said 56 years in prison. But we have Mnangagwa stealing billions and billions and billions of dollars. Kudata Gwede was stealing billions and billions, but now we cannot shiva my billions. But they are walking freely on the streets of Harare. I've told you, people are stealing chicken in the rural area are going to prison, but real criminals are being hugged, celebrated. Yes, sir. They're given security. The police, the military, Sir, but those small little boys, because if Mary was signing these checks to pay those contractors, why then do you arrest the contractors and give them 56 years in prison? But Mary is gallivanting to a point where she took the money that people, first and foremost, when those people were arrested, she went to our mothers in the rural and said, listen, you all need to pay $10 per family because we need to pay for these guys. First, because she knows that people in the rural don't really understand. They were never educated on what's going on with the laws. So they are putting that money out, $10. And you all know that people who are in the rural areas cannot even afford to buy a soap for $1. Yet alone $10 is a lot of money. But yet they were forced to pay the money. And that money was never paid towards those guys that needed law, like representation in the court. She took the money. Are you surprised why she's always having red nails painted, red lipstick, fancy hair? She's gallivanting. She's untouchable. But the people she contracted are going to prison. 56 years in prison for fraud. But we're sitting with Mnangagwa, who is accused of stealing billions. Maybe one day we need to have that conversation. So many people think the administration of Mnangagwa, even the Mugabe administration, were looting billions and billions. They were never held accountable. But those that are in the rural folks, you use them to pawn for your games? Surely something has to give in our country. Something has to give. The level of drama and abuse of our people, no, it has reached another level. It has reached another level. And you guys remember the story where they were asking people, children, to actually raise money because I think Auxilia Mnangagwa was coming there. Okay, so kids at school must raise money to welcome Auxilia Mnangagwa in a country that is so filthy rich. One day we have a conversation about the abuse of Mnangagwa and his administration. But this something really, Mary Muliswa needs to be arrested. And I'm expecting Mutamba to take action because Mutamba is complicit in all these issues. And also, some allegations are he's being protected by Ziyambi. So the same Ziyambi that you see, he's actually protecting criminals. Kazembe is the Minister of Police. What is he doing? Nothing. You know why? Because the bootlicking Mnangagwa. Are you surprised? Last week when Muliswa was busy praising Kudata Gwire, it's the bootlick for survival. It's sad and shameful. But anyway, talking about that nonsense of ZANU-PF, here we are today. Guys, since yesterday, the social media has been wild as far as Chinamasa is concerned. And for some reason, I'm going to read what was dropped yesterday on Twitter. And that just drove the whole, space wild. Okay. So there is a handle that is written ZANU-PF Secretary for Legal and Parliamentary Affairs. And we know that is actually Chinamasa. Okay. It's a handle. But one thing that I noticed with ZANU-PF is that there are so many handles of prominent people. I remember Gideon gone last time and Simbama Kon, and they even sent a statement. They said, guys, I'm not on Twitter. So it means people will look and say, who is a famous person that I can use their name? And they write that person as if they are the one, and the person is not the one. So this ZANU-PF Secretary Legal Parliamentary Affairs, I don't actually think it's for him. But however, let me read what happened there and what was sent out. So the ZANU-PF Department of Legal Affairs is relieved and takes note that the controversy, confusion, or rancor, much ado about nothing, social media hype, misinformation, disinformation that surrounded the Harare Provincial Coordination Committee, PCC, co-option of Comrade Kudakwashi Tagwire into the ZANU-PF Central Committee is now over and irreversibly settled. From the outset, it was difficult to understand the source of the problem. So you remember what happened with Chris Mchangwa, who came out gun blazing, that we do not want to hear anything to do with Kudata Gwire. Okay. And when Chris Mchangwa speaks on behalf of ZANU-PF. Okay. We know that. He's the spokesperson. So I think that his voice holds water. But when this tweet was sent out, or this statement was sent out, everybody just went wild. And people were like, no, we can't wait to see the fight between Chris Mchangwa and Chinamasa. We just can't wait. But I want you to remind you of what Chris Muchangwa said before actually to show you what's going on out there, because wow. Take a listen to Chris.
Basis upon which we rule this country.
We rule.
Okay, what am I saying? Is don't attempt to use money or cars or what. Saka ukatenga vemuHarare province, woenda futi unotenga vekubulawayo, woenda futi unotenga vekwaMutare, vese uchivapa motikari, uchienda uchinotenga vekumaCentral, uchienda uchinotenga vekuMart North, unotenga kuMash West, iwe Mash East, uchingotenga. Ini chinoita iyo mari yandinotora yakabva pano pabuilding. Because this is where that money was created. We have no illusions about where people got their money from. Because in Ian Smith's time, hapana vanhu vanga vaine mari dzakararo. Dzakabva kune ZANU-PF. So we know where money comes from. It comes from this building. Don't think we don't know the origin of money making in Zimbabwe. Tinokuziya pano ndopainobva. Saka kana tichiziya mwena wemari yacho kwainobva, don't try to use the same money against this party or its population or its voting public. Inokupandukira mari iyoyo. I want to be very candid with you. Because toziya kuti inobva papi? Inobva pano ndopakacreatwa mari vanhu vese ava. Dzanga dziri tsuro mazuva evarungu. Vane mari vese ava. Vakaitwa neZANU-PF. So the first thing they should do is to respect the party which made them be what they are, and not try to use the money whose origin is the stewardship of this party and the way it has run this economy. Then you try to spin that money and boomerang, make it boomerang against that party. No, it won't work. This I can assure you, it won't work. And I'm speaking exactly as the spokesperson of the party. I want the population of Zimbabwe to be confident that the Zimbabwe, as ZANU-PF as a mass party, will not compromise on the integrity of the vote as the only way we express leadership in this country. That's what I want to tell you. Any other system which tries to subvert the vote by material means, inducement, or by money, it won't work with ZANU-PF because it backs against the trend of sacrifice. Tikada takatenga kuteseka na Ian Smith. Vana vanga vari musango vachifa nenzara, vachifa nekupfurwa, vangadai vakatengwa, taishaya kana chikafu. Taitotengwa nechikafu chaicho dai zvaita. Ndakada kufa nenzara iyi, ndakatombofa 3 days nenzara. Ndikadai ndakatengwawo nechikafu ndakadzoka kumusha ndisina kurwira nyika ino. Hazvisenzi kuZANU-PF izvi. Mazvinzwa ka? Hazvisenzi kupati kwenyu. And thank you. I hope it answers you.
All right, so I guess you guys have heard Chris Muchangwa, right? And I'm just reminding you of what he said earlier on. And that's what prompted this statement. But for me, when I saw it, one of the things that I considered, because I know how these guys communicate. If you're talking about the Politburo, you can't expect them to communicate via a social media handle. This was not a statement on a letterhead. There was no signature there. It was just simply someone who went then dropped that bombshell. But I know this came from Mnangagwa's function. That is those ones that are pushing on Kuda Tagwire. Okay, you know, Kuda and his money. But when I saw checking in with my sources, they said no, that would never happen. Okay, so for those that have been going wild on social media, it's actually not true. It was just maybe I think they were trying the waters to see what will be the reaction. You know, they like to play those games. Let us hear what people say. Okay, so just to close this whole thing, it's not true. However, the other side went after Chinamasa, big time. Okay, I haven't heard from Chinamasa in a long time. That's one thing that I'll tell you. I haven't heard from him, but they went after him, really, really wild. Okay, wow. And I just wanted to read some of the stuff that they said. And here, they mean business. This guy here by the name Tawonka Kurewa has been writing bombshells on social media. Okay, like I'm telling you, he's got a publication called Fate of the Nation. He really has been zeroing into the ZANU-PF succession battle very closely. But when he speaks like a ZANU-PF supporter. But I know that one, he seems to be aligning with Chiwenga. I was checking in because last time when I read an article that was talking about the military rule, I thought it was him, but I read, no, that was Brian Musonga or something like that. So bear with me if I did not pronounce your surname correctly, but Brighton, yeah. So Brighton wrote the military rule strategy that is coming up, post this Mnangagwa nonsense. Anyway, but now let's go back to Chinamasa. So he wanted to give you a bit of Chinamasa's track record, because Chinamasa has been really playing a huge role in the shenanigans that has been going on in Zimbabwe. Remember, Chinamasa is an attorney by profession and has been working hand in glove with Emmerson Mnangagwa and Kudakoshi Tagwire. So he said the rambling, self-incriminating social media post by Patrick Chinamasa, the ZANU-PF Secretary for Legal Affairs, is not a clarification. It is the political suicide note of a fallen giant. A bitter man now operating as a hired gun for Jigananda faction. His faint surprise is the furore surrounding Kudakoshi Tagwire's illegal co-option is a cynical performance that insults the intelligence of the Zimbabwean. With this post, Chinamasa and his co-conspirator, the National Political Committee, Munyara's Machacha, have not just put their political lives on the line for a corrupt financier. They've signed their own political death warrants. So this is a very serious, very serious. But then he's now give you a bit of the history of Chinamasa. He said a history of betrayal, the making of a hired gun. Now he's introducing the entrance of Kuda Tagwire. To understand the magnitude of this betrayal, one must first understand the betrayer. Patrick Chinamasa's power was never